Welcome back, everyone, to the Prince Huda podcast, episode 2. For new listeners, welcome. For fellow old listeners, welcome back. Excited to have you all join us. I am your host, Prince Huda, and I am joined by the one and only Coach Chippy. It's our holiday episode. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. And Coach, happy holidays to you. How are you doing today?
Happy holidays, Prince. Today's a great day. Today's been a great day. Got creative today. We're not thinking too much today. And how's Prince doing? I want to know how Prince is doing.
I'm good. I'm excited. I mean, the first episode I loved. Thought we did a great job. We got some great clips up, some fun, some hockey, some football. It was well received. And I like what we're doing here. And I think we have something special here. And, it's the holiday season. There's no snow outside, which for me is awesome. I hate the snow. So this is a great Canadian winter so far. Knock on wood.
Ooh, great Canadian winter. There's been very little snow, minimal snow. Usually by this time the ski hills are open, but they're not even really open out here either. So it's been crazy. It's been a crazy winter. Is this a global warming issue here? What are we thinking here, Prince?
Probably, right? Like, I haven't had to shovel the driveway yet, so I love it. You know what I mean? I'm not a winter sports guy. I did skiing one time and I got stuck on the hill and it was super traumatic. I was like 8 years old. And I was like, I'm never doing this again, and stayed true to that. But, it's weird because usually, you have pond hockey, you have snowboarding, you have skiing, you have nothing. You have sitting in your house making podcast weather is what this is right now.
Sounds like it's a good time. Sounds like we're doing the right thing then. Inside, getting creative, starting a podcast, and we'll see if people care about our opinions or not.
They certainly did on the first half, so I'm excited to see what we dive into today. Obviously, the holiday season is here. This one's coming out December 25th, so Merry Christmas to all those listening. I got my holiday spirit on. I'm wearing my Toronto Maple Leafs Christmas
Oh,
sweater,
wow.
for those you can see there. Yeah, thrift store, $11.
I like the pattern on that. It looks sweet.
Yeah, it's a conversation piece for sure, Official NHL merchandise from a thrift store, so I can't complain.
Did you wear it out to work, or have you been in public with it yet?
I did, yeah. We had a Christmas sweater day at work that only 4 people, including myself, participated in. And so It was definitely fun walking around downtown Toronto in a beautiful Maple Leafs Christmas sweater. But if you're going to wear a Christmas sweater in Toronto, right, Maple Leafs one's probably a good shout.
That's a question I have for you. What are your thoughts on people who don't contribute or participate in office events?
I hate that. It's like Scrooge, no pun intended. It's this time of year. And I feel like it's not the first time it's happened to me. Where I used to work, I remember my first year there, Halloween came up. And one of our vice presidents was like, oh, everyone dresses up for Halloween. An exact quote that he said that I have remembered in my head. You don't want to be the only person here not in a costume. So I was like, oh, shit. I'm the new guy. I got to show I'm a team player. I got to get a costume. So I went out and got this great costume. I'm not sure if you've seen the show Stranger Things. I went as Argyle, who was like the stoner pizza guy. I got the wig. I got the shirt. I got everything. And I walked into the office, and there were 3 people dressed up, including me.
Oof, that's never any good. You want some people that are having some fun with life, that want to participate in things like that. But you know what? Sometimes you don't have time, because there's the other side of it, where it's like, I don't got time to be doing that. You know what I mean? I'm showing up for work. I barely like even showing up here. And sometimes you don't even like the people at work. So you know what? I'm not dressing up for nobody. There's that side too. The side that's just like, you know what? I hate work. I hate what I do. I'm coming in here and I'm here to clock in and out. So there's that side as well. I see both sides of it. If it's a space you like and you enjoy the people, yeah, you dress up. If not, put on the hoodie, get in there and get out, okay? And think about what you're going to do next. That's my opinion.
That's fair. No, that's fair, because the next year on Halloween, I didn't dress up, knowing that would happen. And lo and behold, 5 people come in dressed up, but your boy Prince didn't dress up and look like a fool 2 years in a row. So learn as you go in this business. But
I wouldn't say you're a fool. You're just like, you didn't spend that extra time to get ready and spend that extra effort. You know, you got a little maybe you had a little more time after work instead of planning your costume to do what you wanted to do. You know, does Prince love going to the store and grabbing a costume? Maybe,
No,
maybe not.
no. It's expensive, man. Everything's expensive. I mean, that kind of dives into our first topic
Economics?
today.
We talking about economics?
In a sense, I know we did take that course together, so kind of economics here. I went to the Leafs game last week. I know we talked about it on the show. And by the way, what did I say? The Leafs would dominate the Pittsburgh Penguins, and what did they do? Exactly that, 7-0. But man, was that an expensive night. Like, that was crazy. Okay, first of all, we drove in, so went with my dad, some father-son bonding time. We live in Mississauga, so not too far. We parked. $30 parking, right? So you're already down $30 before you even walk into the building. Okay, then we
Where'd
get
you
into the
park?
building. One of those condos off Bay Street. Took the path inside. Little life hack. You don't want to take the one right by the ACC. Excuse me, ACC Scotiabank Arena. I'm dating myself there. You don't want to park too close because it's a nightmare getting out. So we parked a little bit further, walk, but $30. Then we sit down. We're in the seats, and we get some food. There was some nice. We were in the Scotiabank premium area, which was nice. So there was a nicer
Oh
selection. There was a little roast
wow!
beef sandwich. Yeah. So I got a roast beef sandwich, prime rib au jus, and a beer. $44.
Holy!
$44
For which?
before tip for the beer and the sandwich. It was $44.
That's
And
not
then they asked
horrible.
for a
That's not
tip.
horrible. I feel like
That's
at
pretty
a
bad.
Leafs game, I swear the beer is $20.
Yeah, no, at a Leafs game, it's fine. But I'm just saying, like, the economics of a Leafs game, like, your tickets are already stupidly priced. Parking's
Who
crazy.
bought the
Food's
tickets?
crazy.
Who bought the tickets?
They were gifted.
Okay, they were gifted. Okay, so there
$0.
you go. 0 on tickets, brother. You could have bought 15 beef au jus. Okay, you had no
Still,
expense on the ticket price. That means you could splurge a little on the beef au jus and the drink. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I was just baffled. I haven't been to a game in a while, so I was not, I was not expecting to spend that much on food and drinks and parking. But again, it's Toronto. It's a Leafs game, and it was a great game. They won 7-0. The Kyle Dubas return. I was
Oh, they
chanting
pounded them.
Dubas. You saw that on TV. I was in there. Dubas. What a loser.
You don't like Dupas?
No, a man is only as good as his word. And I'll never forget when he did that interview where he said something along the lines of, if I don't work in Toronto, I probably won't work in hockey next year. And he said that, and I was like, wow, what a respectable guy. He's throwing his cards out there. He's saying, you know what? I'm going to stay in Toronto. The very next week, he signs in Pittsburgh and becomes their general manager. I was like, what the heck?
But
What
I
is
don't
this
think
guy
I don't
talking
think he
about?
expected to get fired. I think he got fired, didn't he? Or he asked for a raise, or he wanted more. I think he wanted more control. I think that was the biggest thing. He didn't want to be under Shanahan, so he
Yeah.
wanted. And then I guess they were like, "Nah, like we're gonna keep our big dogs. We're gonna keep our guns." And boom, he gets bounced. And then yeah, he gets offered another job. Like boom, he's gonna go play with Sid, or he gets to go be around Sid. And I think he wanted to rebuild, but I think they wanted to build a team that was competitive this year. So that was tough because he probably had to make a couple moves they didn't even really want to make just to make them kind of competitive this year. Because I don't think Sid and the boys wanted to tank because they're obviously getting a little older and their window for another cup is dwindling.
Yeah, he went in, they got Carlson. But, I mean, when you say it like that, I mean, I might have just 180'd on Dubas and kind of. Now I feel a little bit bad for him, honestly. Like, I wasn't, privy to all these extra details. And now that you say that, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe we did give this guy the short end of the stick. But it was funny watching him lose 7-0. And a lot of the guys that he, left and didn't sign, the guys that Treliving brought in, Domi, Bertuzzi, had big games. So that was pretty funny to see.
That's good. Yeah, we pounded them. That was a big game. Pittsburgh versus Toronto. I don't think we've ever beat Pittsburgh like that before. Like usually they come in, Crosby likes to dance around the Leafs. So that was good. That was good to see, but we are on a little bit of a skid right now. Like we've lost 2 or 3 in a row now. 2 or 3 in a row. We got pound. Actually, yeah, we got to talk about that.
9-3? Yeah, let's jump
90
in.
pounding, which is by Buffalo. So that's tough stuff. Right across
Did
the
you
border,
see?
I didn't
Oh,
see
so
the
I was
game.
just gonna
I did
say,
not
did
even.
you see that after the ninth goal, the Sabres in-game arena staff they played the Hall and Oates song after. So they played the old
No
Leafs goal
way.
song after the ninth goal, just as like a nice little middle finger to the Leafs at the end of that game.
That's tough. No, I didn't watch it. I was actually. What was I doing on? What was that Thursday night?
Mm-hmm.
I was doing something else because I would have been watching, but wow,
I think I
short-term
remember what you were
memory.
doing. That night I was on the locker room with Sports Interaction
Oh,
live
I was
streaming
with
the NFL.
Kev.
Yeah. So I didn't watch the
We were,
game either, but we were checking the phone and like it was 5-3. It was 6-3. It was 9. I'm like, wow, like what's going on with Ilya Samsonov? Like how does a goalie rebound, no pun intended, from a performance like that?
Sammy, I think he just needs to find his confidence. I think it's a mental thing right now. They're saying so. If Sammy can just dial it in, do some mindful work, he'll figure it out. I believe in him. I think it's tough though when you've just your confidence is shot. The pucks are just finding a way in. Now you're battling against yourself, and the defense core isn't the best, so they're giving up high grade chances a lot of the time. Like if you watch a Leafs game, there's definitely a couple like really good opportunities every game because we are just a younger decor. And yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be tough to be a goalie on the Leafs, to be honest. I don't think it's an easy job being a Leafs goalie. With how offensive privy we are, we don't have a lot of focus on defense, and we do rely upon outscoring teams. So I think, yeah, it's definitely not an easy job. I've liked Marty Jones. Marty Jones has been buzzing.
Mm-hmm.
He's stepped in. He's done a good job, but yeah, it's been tough. We've had a lot of injuries, but we'll see. I feel good. I feel good going into the break here, Christmas break. We'll have some holiday break. We'll have some time off here. Do they get time off in the NHL or no?
I think they get like a few days because I know like December 25th is like NBA, NFL only. And then I think they resume 26, 27. So they do get a few days. The Leafs are playing. So we're recording this Saturday night. So they are playing tonight. I think it's Columbus. So it should be a nice bounce back effort. I would look to take the over in that game. I guess we'll see
We
what
got a
that
game
looks like
tonight.
next week.
We have a game tonight
Yeah, they're playing
right
Columbus,
now. When do they play?
6:30. I would assume
Oh my
later
goodness.
on tonight. Um, yeah, they're playing in Columbus, so look for a bounce back effort from the Leafs. Go into the break, ideally with the win, but you never know with this team. You really don't know what you're going to get with this team on a night to night basis.
Okay, that means we're gonna have to wrap this pod up around 7:15.
They can wait. They can wait. One thing I don't like about the NHL is they're the worst with start times. You'll see a 7 p.m. start, and then you
Oh,
sit down on the couch, you're ready.
7:08.
It's
It's
the
usually
worst.
7 or
Yeah.
7. It's 7:08 or like it's like 8 minutes past that usually.
Why can't they start on time? You know what I mean? I hate
Because
that.
it's the program starts at 7.
Oh,
So they got to introduce it. They got to do the anthems. I'm not a big anthem guy. All right. Before the game, let's just play the game. Okay. Do we need to sit here with the anthem? I put the anthems on mute. And guess what? This is a life hack. If you're watching a game, mute the commercials too. You don't let that infiltrate your mind because they're always trying to sell you something. They're trying to plant stuff in your brain. In between periods, you mute the commercials. Take that time to meditate. All right. You probably have a lot of emotions going on. Your team's winning, your team's losing. Turn that mute button on during those commercials because they're trying to sell you something. They're trying to tap into your brain, and you got to say, no, I'm not letting that into my mind today. I'm going to relax. I'm going to flow. My dad and I actually usually watch the games together, and he has the PVR. So we wait half an hour, and we don't check our phones, and we don't check
ooh,
the. So then, boom, guess what? Fast forward, no commercials, life hack. No one else is watching games like Coach Chippy and his dad. We've got it figured out. PVR, fast forward the commercials. Don't check your phone because then you get the score updates and stuff like that. I don't let anyone text me. I put it on Do Not Disturb, and boom, we watch the game in peace. No commercials. How about that, Prince? How about that?
I like it. I think I'm guilty of checking the phone in between commercials, so I don't think I could do the 30-minute PVR. But I do have a strategy for the anthems too. You mentioned you mute them. I just
Shh,
take a knee during them.
one sec. What happens when you PVR?
You're behind.
There's no commercials. That's what I'm saying. So you don't need to check your phone. It's the most elite way because you just fast forward to the play. It's always play. There's no need to check your phone. So you check your phone because you got to wait for the commercial. But when you can just hit back onto the plate, icing, fast forward.
What about the flipping between games though? Like you got money on Pittsburgh, you got money on Toronto. You're flipping to Pittsburgh in the commercial, and then back to Toronto during the Pittsburgh commercial. You know what I mean?
Coach Chippy retired from that. Coach Chippy doesn't do any of that stuff. So Coach Chippy just watches his team, and that's that. We talked about that before. I had to retire. I had to let go of that side, but you just watch the Leafs play, and then I get to go do my video maybe after. It's just an elite way to watch the game with no commercials. I don't know if you have a PVR at home, but if you do, figure it out. Figure out how to work it because it's extremely elite.
Oh, you cut me there. I had a funny one. I thought we were talking about anthems. I was gonna say my strategy during the anthems is I take a knee during them.
Oof. So you're anti anthems. You're anti.
No, it was just a poorly timed joke I thought would land. Shout out Colin Kaepernick. The football guys would get it, but just
I don't even know if I'm allowed to laugh. See, that the problem with today is I don't even know if I'm allowed to laugh at that. I don't know if I'm. I don't have an opinion on anything. I don't have an opinion on any of that. In today's society, are we allowed to even make a joke anymore? I don't even know.
I give you permission to laugh. I won't feel offended if you laugh, if that's what we're looking.
The problem is I don't even know what it means at this point. I don't even know what kneeling means. Like, is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? I don't even know at this point, which we got so much stuff going on in the world. So many people are getting offended over everything. I don't know. I even get offended over some stuff. Okay, that's why I try to stay offline and don't even look at my phone. But that's very difficult to do. That's been something
I was going to say.
It's nearly impossible. Joking. Yeah. You what is possible is what you tell yourself. So if I keep telling myself that, of course it's going to be impossible. But having said that, I have been wanting to limit my screen time, limit my consumption on the phone. Because as soon as you get on a TikTok doom scroll, it's like the doom scrolling is insane. You just get on the phone, you're scrolling, and then next thing you know, you're swapping from TikTok to Instagram. You're checking Instagram, and then you're going from Instagram to YouTube, and then now you're in the YouTube Shorts algorithm. Now you're lost in the algorithms. Now your middle name might be algorithm because you're just in it, and it knows exactly who you are, so it's feeding you all the best videos possible. And now you spent the last 4 hours scrolling, and you're like, man, what did I just do for the last 4 hours? And you got no idea because you went from video to video, dopamine hit to dopamine hit to dopamine hit. And that's a scary, scary place to be.
Yeah, I know Apple phones have the screen. No, that was beautiful. It's just I've been there before with the Instagram. You click on a profile, this person's following them. Okay, let me click on this person. Oh, let me person tag them. And then you're just there, and you're 8 people deep of when they started at one. I know they have limits on your phone where you're at this time they cut you off from the site, but it's very easy to just ignore. So, we'll probably talk about New Year's resolutions next week, but that is one for me as well. Screen time just got to go down just a little bit, not too much, but a little bit.
No, it's when you get in the TikTok and then you get into a part 1 and then you go to the next, you go to the comments and then you see part 2. Now you're on part 9 of whatever video you watched. And then you have to go back to your For You page. So you have to go back 9 different videos that you just, bro, I had that happen yesterday. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was watching this show and it was a part 1. It was a 10-part series I watched. It was insane. It had me. It was such a good little documentary, but yeah, you can get lost in these algorithms. We need to talk about that more because that's pretty funny.
Yeah. It's funny because TikTok, you can put a 10-minute video out on TikTok now. So there's been times I'm sitting there and it's I've been watching this video for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So whoever this creator is, they just got juiced in the algo because I spent 5.5 minutes.
No, that's good. Video. No, that's good because if you can watch it, that's good for you because if you can watch a video for 5 minutes, you are above and beyond focused.
Oh,
I mean,
oh,
like, no, it's a good thing because if you can sit there and
okay.
watch, give yourself, watching a 5-minute video isn't easy in this world when 10 seconds is about the 4 seconds is about the attention span of most. Actually, I'd say 2. Most of us just go whoop 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 whoop. Next video, next video, next video, next video, next video. So if you can sit there and watch a 5-minute video, I'm going to applaud you. I wish we had a little thing because I just want to give you a
Yeah,
little clap.
I'll take
You
it.
sat there
I mean,
for a
listen, I'll
5-minute
take
video,
it.
Prince. You sat there for 5 minutes and you
Listen,
said, no, I'm not going to
if the
scroll.
subject's good, typically you're talking about, football, you're talking about, sports betting, or you're talking about wrestling. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna watch. And so if you got me in
What else
any
is
of
in that
those three,
algo?
I'm gonna watch.
Is that what your algo
That's
is
about,
mostly consisting of?
I'd say, yeah, that mostly. Trying to grow, so you have those people like, this is how to make an entertaining video. This is how to grow your audience. This is how to get 5,000 followers in 5 minutes. Like, I see those too. So I get a little bit of those, but none of that stuff that I think you're alluding to. I don't have
No,
that
that's
in my
good.
algorithm anymore.
That's good. That's good. Anymore. That's good.
Anymore.
That's good. No distractions. Yeah, self-improvement. I got a lot of self-improvement stuff in that algorithm. I have a lot of what else do I got in my algorithm? It's not as much hockey as you would think. I don't have a ton of hockey. It's mostly like philosophy stuff, like philosophical stuff. Then it's like random stuff. They'll be like, oh, like man gets arrested, and it's like a 10-part series of like what's that? like I got a lot of that random stuff, like just like
I know what you're
random
talking
like
about. I'm just
crazy experiences that are like just going on in the world that you just can't like believe even are real, and then it just like catches your attention, and it's like a 10-parter, and it's like, yo, I gotta watch. Does this guy get off with the ticket? Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. Like a lot of those, like a lot of like random stuff like that. And is it? I mean, it's entertaining, but are you getting anything from it? Probably not. Not too much.
No. Well, one thing in my algorithm, or one thing that really caught my eye this week, was the picture of Victor Wembanyama and Connor Bedard. I mean, that was so funny. The size discrepancy between the two. It looks like a Photoshop, but it is a real photo. I saw it on the NHL official Instagram. I mean, that was hilarious. What did you think of that photo?
Wemby's massive, though. Wemby makes NBA players look like that. So, and Bedsy isn't the tallest guy. So it's like, maybe if they put Chara and Wemby together, it wouldn't look so crazy. But, when
I
you
think
take
it still
someone.
would.
What Chara was this? Chara 6'8"? 6'7"? What was Chara? 6'8"? Yeah.
Let's do a check here. Yeah.
Wemby was.
But then you have Wemby who's 7'4", right? It's not even fair.
7'4" is crazy. Like,
not even fair.
Yeah, like Bedsy standing beside him was pretty funny. But it's just crazy the difference between sports. Like that's the number one overall pick to the NBA, and then that's the number one to the NHL. Obviously, having a little bit of a lower center of gravity appears to be beneficial in the NHL. But I was reading like an article, and it was saying that it's actually changing to taller defensemen. Like a lot of big defensemen now are getting drafted, so there's been a shift now to like big defensemen. So I don't know, but it seems like the game's getting smaller in terms of forwards. It seems like there's a lot of like Kucherov's not the biggest guy, he's leading the league. Bedard, who else? Like Crosby was only like 5'11" or something, 5'10".
Yeah, as long as you're a strong skater, it feels like you can kind of translate and make up for your lack of height in this game. But it is just crazy that like you have Bedard, who if a basketball player looks at Bedard, they probably don't think anything special of him. But a hockey player looks at him and goes, "Okay, yeah, this guy is the future of the league."
Well, what they should have done is compared quads. Who's got the bigger quads? That's what they should have done. They should have said
forearms even,
or forearms, because Betsy's built like a truck. They should have had them wearing muscle shirts just to see the physiques, different types of physique, because Bedsy's built like a truck. Okay, this guy's been in the gym. This guy doesn't miss a leg day. Okay, so if Bedsy and Wemby did a little quad comparison, I think there'd be a little bit of a difference there as well.
It's just crazy that like in the same draft year we had this guy who's touted as a generational future superstar in the NBA and a generational future superstar in the NHL in the same draft year. So I do feel like their careers are going to be held against each other, kind of forever just because they got drafted at the same time and have to, make the same impact on their respective sports.
Yes, I just had a idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like Bedsy. Um, he's like, why is everyone talking about my height? Like, have they seen my quads? Have they seen my forearms? Like, yeah, they could talk about my height, but have they seen my quads? Something like that. That'd be pretty funny.
Insecure. Well, I'll pose the question to you. When it's all said and done, who do you think's going to make a bigger impact on their league, Wembenyama or Connor Bedard?
Ooh, that's that's a good question. I think it's easier to be a star in the NBA. I think like stars dominate more in the NBA than they do in the NHL. And what I mean by that is the NHL is more of a team game. There's a lot more chance, I think, in hockey as opposed to basketball, where one or two guys can dominate like and take a game over. Like look at LeBron when he was in the Eastern Conference. He made it to the finals every year, and like it wasn't because he had the most stacked team, but one guy can dominate a game way more than one guy can dominate a game in hockey. Obviously, you look at McDavid. I think McDavid's an outlier because it seems like every game he dominates. He's getting like 3 points a game, it seems like. But we'll see if Bedard can do that. I think it is a lot more difficult, though, to dominate at the level an NBA player can dominate a game, if that makes sense. Is that a good answer, Prince? Was that well thought
I
out?
Yeah, I think so. Because in the NBA, you need five guys on the floor. In the NHL, you need 12 forwards, you need six defensemen, you need two goalies, right? So I see why when you think about roster buildup, it's a lot easier. And again, this is just my opinion on it. It feels like it's a lot easier for a basketball team to take one player and build around him than it is for a hockey team to take one player and build around him.
Yes, I
Does
think
that make
also
sense?
like minutes because an NBA player can play like 35 minutes a night. Like a big minute game for a hockey player is like 22 minutes, 20 minutes. Like, so you're just out there a lot more. You don't have to take as much rest. There's not four lines that go out. Like it's like two lines, like your bench and then you have your starters. So I think, yeah, it's just, I think you just play a lot more in the NBA. Like you're just on the court, you're in the game more than you are in the NHL.
Yeah, I'd take Wembenyama. I made a bet with one of my buddies that I think Wembenyama will have at least three championships before he retires. I was, pretty high on him. We made like I think it was $1,000 bet on it, three championships. So it'll be definitely down the line. But I don't know. I just, Greg Popovich, one of the best coaches in NBA history. Not sure how long he's going to stay throughout Wembenyama's career, but you have Wembenyama. I'm sure free agents are going to want to play with this guy. San Antonio has won before. They have a winning, culture and fan base that expects it. So I'd like to see him win a few more. So I would make the case that Wembenyama will be more successful in the NBA than Connor Bedard is in the NHL.
Okay. Okay.
We're throwing takes around there. That's my first take, I guess, from the Prince of the podcast. Right there. Boom. Mark it.
Yeah, I don't know, but Bedsy could just, bro, he's like a point per game almost as a rookie.
Yeah.
Like he might, like if he is anything like McDavid dominates his sport more than I think any other player in any league.
I'd
Okay,
agree.
that's crazy
I'd agree with
take.
that.
That's a crazy
No,
take.
I'd
But
agree with
McDavid,
that.
if anyone watch, like McDavid is light years ahead of the next person, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's so skilled. Like he's just built, and just the way he's built, like physically, he's fast. He can shoot. He dominates the game. Like he's the best player to ever put on a pair of skates to ever do it. No question about it. Like this guy, you can't build a more perfect hockey player. Like what? Like he's six
He has no
foot
weaknesses.
two.
Like, what are his
He's got no
weaknesses?
weaknesses.
Exactly. which is just
like
nuts.
defense, but he's never even in the defensive zone because his transition game's insane. As soon as he gets that puck, he's gone. He's so fast. He can shoot it. I mean, the only weakness you could say, it's not even really a weakness, but he hasn't won a cup yet. But that's very difficult to do in the NHL, like winning a cup. I guess it's difficult in the NBA as well, but it does seem like the same teams always win. So like Golden State's won a ton of chips.
We had the same finals matchup for like 5 years in a row, right? Cavs Warriors every year. Yeah. So I get what you're saying there for sure. Would you say Connor McDavid is better than Wayne Gretzky?
Oh, yeah. It's a different time. It's a different game. Are you kidding me? The game's just so much more elite like now as opposed to, and this is a take that people don't like this take, but I'm saying, he's the best player. He's the greatest one to ever do it. McDavid, are you kidding? It's just a different game now. Like the game's so much better, so much faster. I mean, Wayne Gretzky was playing in an era where the goalies, I don't even think knew how to do the butterfly. So of course you're going to be scoring a lot of goals because the goalies, I don't think had helmets on. Did the goalies even have helmets on when Wayne Gretzky was playing? I don't know. But McDavid's got a ton of guys that know about diet, that know about training since they were 5. Like every one of these kids now has been training since they were 2, has been eating protein powder since they were 5, has been taking every day to train. So I think there's a lot more competition in the league than when Wayno was playing. Wayno didn't have it. Who was Wayno's competition? Okay, I don't know about that era. There was probably a lot of good guys, but
I don't want to speak out of this and have all the
it's
hockey
like you're,
what are you guys talking about? You know what I mean? Like,
you're comparing eras. I think if you adjust McDavid's points, it's like McDavid's the guy. McDavid's the man. Like I think Wayno would even say that. Like, could Wayno do the stuff that McDavid was doing? I don't know. But again, the equipment's better. The skates are better. You're comparing eras at this point, and I don't know if you can really do that. But yeah, for me, it's McDavid. I think the game has never been in a better spot in terms of just quality. Like just watching a hockey game now, like everyone's doing crazy stuff. You got Michigan's happening. You got guys hitting. There's not as much hitting as there was before, obviously, but this year I've seen a ton of fights. I've seen a ton of hits. I've seen Trouba going and running guys over on the Rangers there.
Oh, yeah.
The game's in a good spot. The game's growing. I think NHL and hockey's just going to become more mainstream. I think a lot more people are going to tune in just because how fast it is. There's fighting. There's hitting. You're on little blades this big and you're skating on ice. Like, it's craziness. It's an absolute war on the ice. And I grew up playing it. It was my favorite sport growing up. I love hockey. And I think McDavid's the best to ever do it.
That's a good stamp. That's a great stamp. And you always see, like, when ESPN, SportsCenter, all these, pages that predominantly post football, basketball highlights, when they post McDavid videos, all the comments you see are, man, I don't watch hockey, but that is impressive. Like, or I've never seen hockey before, but that is unreal. Like, people that don't watch hockey watch McDavid and go, holy shit, this guy is the real deal. So it is definitely a big take, saying he's better than Gretzky. But I mean, when it's all said and done, this might not even be a discussion when it's all said and done.
That's what I'm saying. What if McDavid passes him in points and goals?
He could.
And now you're like, holy, McDavid. I think I'm speaking for the younger crowd. I think the old cats are going to be in the comments section. What are you talking about? Coach Chip doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah. Coach Chip does know what he's talking about. McDavid was the greatest to ever do it. No question about it.
Big drop. I like it. It's spicy. It's a take. You know what I mean? We're getting stuff out there. I love it. It'll get clipped up. We'll get that out there. Love to see the feedback on that one. We're getting our opinions out there. That's what this is all about. That's holding us to our words. You know what I mean? One thing I said last week.
You know what?
Yeah, what?
One thing to say. My opinion on that could change tomorrow. Okay? What I say in the moment I could change my opinion on that in the next 10 minutes. Okay? So stay tuned on the podcast if I make a retake on that last clip. Because I might go out and say Pappy's the best to ever do it. I might go and say Patty Kane's the best to ever do it, or Crosby. Who knows how I'm feeling in the moment? In this moment, I was feeling McDavid. I was. Clearly, I was feeling McDavid. But you don't know if Coach Chippy's going to change his opinion in the next 10 minutes because that's what I do. All right. I say one
Yeah, we'll
thing,
put
I
a
get more enlightened. I get more enlightened, and maybe my opinion changes. I'm not. I'm not just going to sit here and hold that opinion for the rest of my life. It could change. Could change.
That's fair. We'll put a disclaimer. The thoughts and views of Coach Chippy on this podcast may not be the same next week. Something like that. One of those little commercial disclaimers saying,
Put
"Hey,
that.
it could change." One of those little disclaimers we'll
he's
add
very
to it. But
he's very malleable.
what does that mean? I've never heard that before. What does that mean?
Oh, don't malleable means like you can.
Oh,
It's like very malleable. You can work with it, right? Like you can change it. It's malleable.
I
What does
asked you what
malleable
it
mean? It means
means,
it's
and you
malleable,
explained
bro.
it to me by saying what the word is. I don't know. Listen, I'm a 24-year-old. I've never heard that word. I've never used that word. I will use that word. I just want to know what it means.
You know what malleable means, bro.
I don't. I've never heard it
It
before. You
it
stumped me
means you
again, man.
can. Okay, that piece of Play-Doh is very malleable.
You want me to
You
read the
can
definition I found
shape it.
online?
You could shape it or something like that. Like you could shape it. You can adjust it. It's malleable. It's Play-Doh. Play-Doh would be an
Yeah.
example of a malleable product. Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, that checks out with what I read. So word of the day, word of the week for all our listeners, malleable.
And yeah, exactly, like Coach Chippy can be shaped a different way if he by next week with more. Once I get more enlightened, once I get more stuff, I consume better knowledge. Maybe my opinion will change.
I like it. Well, let's try
Thank
this.
you,
This
thank
this is
you,
a segue here. I'm going to attempt one
Prince. We have
thing
10 minutes.
that isn't. We have 10 minutes. Well, I'll get you out
You-
of here before the Leafs game. Don't you worry. One thing
No,
that
I'm
isn't
joking. You said
malleable.
45. You said let's keep it to 45.
You're spilling the business on the podcast here. Oh, we can keep it to 45. I do want to get some things. I did say last week that Aaron Rodgers would play this season, and I said I wanted to see it. He announced on the Pat McAfee show this week he will not play. He's 3 to 4 weeks away from
Oh,
returning.
okay.
So I fell for the hype. I'll be honest, first to admit, accountability time. I thought he'd come back. I wanted to see him. I believed all of it. All the stuff about his Achilles being fine. I was wrong. So again, it's episode 2, accountability time. Prince was wrong. And Prince is a fool for saying Aaron Rodgers will play this season.
You know
Sorry.
what? That's character development right there. You know what? You're accepting that you were wrong, and you're saying, "Hey, I was wrong." And I think that's
On
all you
me.
can do on this earth is say, "Hey, take responsibility for that. I'll take it on the chin." I got pretty fired up hearing that Aaron Rodgers might be coming back. He didn't come back. That's on me. I'll take that one on the chin, guys. Hey, guys, my bad. That's what Prince just said. Prince said,
It's
"Hey,
on me.
that one's on me. That one I was wrong, guys." All right, take notes from Prince. That's very mature.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I was a little shaken up. I wanted to see it. They had a great matchup this week against a terrible defense. Rodgers would have lit it up too. And, we'll wait till next year to see it. But, I mean, I love watching Rodgers play. I mean, he's good for the game. It's just sad to see him go down. I explained this to someone this week. It's like, Aaron Rodgers going down in the first week of the season. It's like your favorite TV show. The new season just came out. You're in the first episode. You're so excited. One of your favorite characters, one of the main characters, gets killed off in the first episode of the season. That's exactly what it was.
Oh, yeah, that one stung for a lot of NFL fans. As someone who doesn't watch a ton of football, I do know who Aaron Rodgers is, and I do know what he's meant to the game. And I have watched him in Super Bowls. Is he ancient now? Yes, he is. He's extremely old. Okay, how old is he? I don't know. Coach Chippy doesn't
40?
know. What is he? 40?
He's 40.
He's 40. Okay, he's been around, and you want to see those heroes keep playing. Like it was like Tom Brady's kept playing. Tom Brady said, "No, my body's still good at age." How old's Tom Brady? Is he 40 something? Was he 40
He was a
playing in the
year.
league?
He was a year or
Was
two
he
older.
42 or something? He was like
Tom
42 playing in
Brady
the league.
is
Which is insane.
46. Actually, he's 46.
What? So
Yeah.
how old was he playing in the league?
So he retired earlier this year. So he was 45 when he retired.
Come on. That's
Yep.
insane to me. Like 45 in football seems crazy because you are getting hammered out there by those offensive linemen. I mean, do quarterbacks take more abuse than other positions, or is it? I feel like when they do get hit, it's pretty violent. Like, I feel like when a QB gets hit, it's like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, what's the most obviously offensive lineman is probably the most physical position. Wide receivers feel like they're battling a lot, but I feel like the QB doesn't have any like. If that guy gets through the D line, you are getting crushed unless you can move your feet, unless you can avoid. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, like I feel like the NFL has taken a lot of measures to reduce the amount of punishment quarterbacks take. If you go on YouTube and you just search up biggest quarterback hits ever, like there are some guys who get their helmets knocked off, who get the wind taken out of them, their ribs cracked. Like you see some of these hits and it's just crazy. They have taken it out to an extent, but you know when you watch the replay, like for an average Joe, like us, like if you don't play the sport and you watch this, these guys get blown up. Like imagine Aaron Donald is running at you full force and you
That's
have
what
to
I'm
make a
saying.
split second decision of where to throw a ball and getting out of the way. And to me, I think playing quarterback in the NFL is the hardest position in sports. I will stand by that take. Being a quarterback in the NFL is the hardest position in the entire world of sports.
I'm just taking time to process that statement.
Like you could put a
Quarterback's
hockey
the hardest
goalie up
position in
there.
sports.
Yeah, you could put a hockey goalie up there. You could put
I'm just trying to think about different sports right now. Hardest
UFC
position in
fighter is pretty
sports.
hard.
You know what? I'm gonna say rugby's pretty insane. Okay, I
Rugby is
haven't
brutal.
watched a ton of rugby, but I know it's like football without the equipment on. These guys are out there doing the same thing football players are doing without the equipment. No helmets. These guys are out there crushing each other. Okay, have you seen a rugby game? Have you seen a rugby game? I want to see
I
some
used to
rugby
play
highlights right
rugby.
now. This is a clip right here. Have you seen rugby? Because this stuff is no joke. These boys get down on that pitch, and it's extremely violent. And it's football without equipment. Okay, and I don't know how the game works. They're always like slowing down. You can't be offside. They put guys on their shoulders and they're going up and grabbing the ball. Get that on the clip. They're going up, grabbing the
Yeah.
ball. It's an insane sport. It's an insane sport. And I
The
think
only
there must
argument
be a
I'd make
position in
against
rugby.
rugby. Well, the only argument I make against rugby, and for those that don't know, Prince Hudapix used to play rugby in high
I
school,
did
believe it or
too.
not.
Coach Chippy, not in high school. I played in elementary school.
High school. You're running into contact. That's the only argument I would make against rugby. You're always running into contact. Whereas with the NFL, you don't know where the contact's coming from. You can get hit from behind, hit from the front,
No, that's
hit from the
false.
side,
That's
hit from the
false.
blind side.
That's
It's not
false.
okay. How
You
so?
get hammered. There's open ice. There's open ice hits in rugby too. There's open
Open
field
ice?
hits. It's well, like I see what you're saying, but like you're running into contact a lot of the time in football too. Like running backs, like you're running into the like there isn't like a ton of like massive open field hits in football. Like there isn't a ton of like whereas opposed to hockey, like an open ice, like
Oh yeah.
just running into a wall. Like obviously there's a ton of hits in football, but like open field hits. You know what I'm talking about? Like an open field hit, like a wide receiver's going up, completely just runs into someone and like just gets trucked. Like obviously
Yeah.
there's a lot of it, but
There was one last week that was
I think
making the
there's a lot in
rounds on
rugby.
social. Yeah, I think
Okay.
recency bias here. Like there was one last week, Michael Pittman for the Colts went up to catch a ball, and then the Steelers defensive player bang right into the side. He got a concussion. He had to leave the game, and the Steelers player got suspended for the rest of the season for the hit. So, like you said, it's not as prevalent anymore, and because they do things like suspend guys, fine guys, that kind of thing, you don't see it as much. But man, when you see one of those hits, it's just like I don't want to see it. Let me see the
Oh,
replay 10
dude.
times kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, hockey, there's actually quite a few big hits in hockey. I used to hit guys, but like I used to also get smoked. Like I
Yeah.
got crushed a couple times. Like when you're a defenseman going back to get that puck in the corner and the forward is skating full speed for 100 feet and they want to hurt you. Like I'd say defensemen get punished often because you're going backwards, right? And then you're
Yeah.
skating towards the puck. You're skating towards the end boards. You have to go get the puck, and then you have to turn it up the ice. But the forward's chasing you down, and you end up just some of the times just getting absolutely smoked. The forward wants to hurt you because you've been giving him cross checks all game. It gets nasty. There are some big hits in hockey as well. What would you say? Which sport would you say has the biggest hits? Hockey or
Uh,
football
I think it's hockey or
or
football.
rugby?
Like, I'm not a rugby connoisseur. I don't watch enough to know, but I would definitely think I'm gonna say football just because you see it more. You know what I mean? Like every game you have these crazy hits. Whereas like hockey, it's like again, maybe I don't watch enough hockey, no, but I don't see as many crazy hits in an average hockey game than I do in an NFL game.
No, but like which hits do you think are more violent? Because now hockey, you have boards. Like
I'd say hockey.
football, there's no like because like there's that danger zone when you're like you can't really see. I'm trying to like show you, but like when you're like this far away from the boards and like I just posted a video, some guy getting hit from behind and your neck gets crushed into the boards. Like there should be like get the editor to show some violent hits right now. And the hits are
Yeah,
just
I'm thinking
violent,
like Paul
extremely.
Correa, like the Scott Stevens Paul Correa.
Well, that's open ice. So that's open ice.
Yeah.
Those aren't
Nuts.
those aren't as bad as a danger zone board hit. Like a hit where you're like maybe 5 feet from the boards and someone hits you and your like head gets like you're just in that danger zone. Like there's a danger zone in hockey where if you're along like you're like 4 feet away from the boards and you get hit in a weird way, your neck goes in, like you could literally die. Like it's actually obviously in football it's very violent as well, but not having those boards around you, like pretty much a wall that you're hitting, can be, I think, a little more forgiving than a hockey hit. But it's very interesting.
Well, I wonder because it's funny because like these hockey hits are deadly, but why is it that we see more concussions in the NFL on a weekly basis than we do in the NHL?
Well, I mean, just because every play you're like, I mean, like the offensive and defensive line are like just they're literally it's head on head contact every play. It seems like I think there's a lot more. Obviously, there's a lot more hits because every play has a hit in football. Like everyone's hitting everybody out there. That's literally the nature of the game. Is just I just think there's just a lot more. Yeah, hits in football, and I feel like there's a lot more like head on head collisions. Like I feel like you hit with your head, like you get low and you isn't that how you hit? Like obviously you don't hit with your head, but like
They
you
try to
get
take
low
it
and,
out of the game, but yeah, like the amount of times you see guys' helmets collide, and you just know like the way his head turns, and the card has to come on the field, and all the players are on their knees because they don't want to see it. Like it's a tough sport. Like if you have a kid that's in the NFL or a friend, like it must be hard to watch them play and watch them take these kinds of hits.
Yeah, you know what? Football is a savage sport. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like hockey's a savage sport too, but man, football
Nice.
players are tough. I couldn't play football. I never played football. I played hockey, but I wasn't down for that football stuff because I played flag football. I was a flag football guy.
I
Put me
like
out
that.
on there with the
I
flag.
played
So
flag
you know what I
football
mean?
too.
I mean I probably could have mucked it up. I mean, I think I just I wasn't big enough. But like even hockey, I wasn't the biggest guy. But they call me Chippy for a reason. I was a nightmare to play against. But yeah, I like this
I believe
comparing
it.
football
I've
to
seen it.
hockey. I feel like there's a lot of resemblance. There's a lot of differences, but there's also a lot of like it's very similar. It's very like it's like
It's
a
a similar
war.
mindset. Yeah, it's a similar mindset of the player knowing that they're going to go out there and they're going hunting. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I like it. They're hunting.
Yes. Yes.
That's my word
I
of the
do think
day.
football is more dangerous, probably. But it's like, is it? You know what I mean? It's like I'm thinking, is it more dangerous?
Going back
is
to
tough.
our original discussion, I would argue that like I said, quarterback being the hardest because like you have to deal with this constant threat of someone running at you. You have to be able to read defenses. You have to memorize the playbook. You got to know where each receiver is on the field at each time. Know the coverage you're getting from your offensive line. I just feel like the mental aspect of being a quarterback, coupled with the fact that the physicality you need to absorb these hits, I think there's nothing like it in sports.
Yeah. It's a hot take.
I mean, we'll see. Like I'd argue many people feel the same way, but again, like whoever watches their sport, there's probably some rugby pundits out there that are like, "What are you talking about?" Blah blah blah. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah.
So
Oh yeah, the rugby guys are going to be in the comment section because I feel like the rugby guys get down. The rugby
take
guys,
it easy
your
on us,
ears get
rugby
ripped
boys.
off in rugby. The ears
Oh
get
yeah,
ripped off in rugby, dude. Rugby's no joke. Okay, let's not
no,
forget how physical rugby is. We don't watch enough of it over here in this side of the woods, on this side of the woods, but it gets pretty intense over there too. I don't like what other dangerous sports are there. A lot of dangerous sports.
yeah,
Um,
like a UFC, right? That's a really dangerous
yeah.
sport. I
Okay.
mean, you're literally putting your
Okay.
life on the line every time you walk out, sparring, fighting. Like
Yes.
that's a
Okay.
dangerous sport for sure. And a lot of the times, like
I
when you're
would
up and
say that's
coming, you don't make a
dangerous.
lot of money either. So I would put that up there as like you really got to be thinking a certain way if you want to fight for a living.
Yeah,
Nuts.
okay. I'd say yeah, UFC's I think
Or MMA in general,
yeah,
not just UFC. Again,
yeah,
the pundits. You got to be
boxing.
careful. You got to be careful with all these people. Combat sports, yeah,
W-
just nuts.
Which one do you think is more obviously like people are going to say UFC, but like I feel like boxing it's like just head contact. Like it's you like not just obviously there's body, but you know what I'm saying? It's like you're aiming at the guy's head, whereas like
Yeah.
UFC might be like more of a ground game. Obviously, you're catching elbows to the face too. I was gonna say like which one is like more dangerous, but like I think it's got to be UFC just because there's so many more things that could happen. But like when you're just getting punched in the head, like the brain damage, like which sport is there more brain damage in, boxing or UFC?
Uh I would assume boxing, right? Because UFC, like, you
Yeah,
got to worry about
that's what I'm
all your
trying to
body
say.
parts, right? Colby Covington said in that fight he just had with Leon Edwards last week, he said he broke his foot in the first 30 seconds of the fight, and he went 25 minutes with a broken foot. So like, that's just
Wait,
nuts
who
to think
did?
about. Colby Covington, he did an interview. He was in
He
the
had a
title
broken
fight with
foot.
Leon Edwards. He said he broke his foot in the first 30 seconds of the fight last week.
Okay, because he was not coming forward. He was not fighting the way I wanted him to fight. I mean, I was watching it, and it was everyone's like, "Yo, Covington's like this pressure, pressure, pressure." Like I don't know a ton about UFC. I do watch most of the cards, but I didn't really know how Covington fought. Like I've seen a couple of his other fights. Everyone was saying how Covington's like constant pressure, pressure, pressure. And then I'm watching. I'm like, this guy's not even moving forward. This guy's like barely even moving at all, and his leg got chopped up by those leg kicks. Like, oh, I think every UFC fighter, every UFC fighter that I've seen dominate has these leg kicks, and it
Yeah.
seems like they immobilize the other opponent with these leg kicks, and then it's over. The fight's over. The guy gets a dead leg, can't walk. Like those leg kicks. If I'm a UFC fighter, UFC fighters take some notes from Coach Ship right now. Learn the leg kick, okay? Because it seems like that's the most violent thing. Like who else did I watch do those leg kicks? Um,
Pereira, the
did
Brazilian guy, he
yes,
has the
bro. The guy
nastiest
chopped
leg kicks I've ever seen. He just
he chops
chops
your
him like a
leg and now it's
tree.
over. It's
Yeah.
over. The fight's over. And now it's like you can't even move your one leg. And if I'm a fighter, yeah, I'm learning that leg kick or I'm learning how to check a kick. Because if you're
Yeah.
not checking those leg kicks, man, your leg's done. I mean, it's insane.
Well, remember the
We got a little
famous
UFC talk.
Anderson Silva? Remember he went for the leg kick and Chris Weidman checked the kick
Oh,
and his foot bent
oh.
out. Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, take
That was
notes,
ridiculous.
Covington,
Mm.
because yeah, you got to check those kicks, else your leg's gonna be you won't be like will Covington even be able to
Whoosh.
walk for the next 3 days, 4 or 2 weeks maybe? I
He's
mean,
doing
that's
all
how
these
much damage that,
he's doing all these interviews, so obviously he's fine enough, to be sitting in the studios and whatnot. But no, I
bro.
mean, a broken foot in the first 30. I mean, you're off pure adrenaline. There's 24 minutes left in this fight, and you still gotta go. Like we're talking about
Yeah,
pain
like what?
tolerance of athletes for sure. That's up
Yeah,
there. Nuts.
yeah. Because once that adrenaline, that's what I'm saying. Once that adrenaline dumps, like his leg was purple in the first round. It was a different color by the fifth round. I don't even know what color it was. It was just what's that going to feel
Bro,
like? tomorrow and the next day. Like that thing
Oh,
would just be destroyed, dude.
yeah. In the moment, the adrenaline, right? You're not thinking about it, but shit, when you get out and you
No.
sit in the locker room after you walk out, like, oh, I don't even
And your legs
respect to
green.
those
You're like, I
guys.
went.
Green.
I came out of the fight.
Your
My
legs
legs green and
malleable.
purple. Yeah,
It's
at that
malleable.
point, your legs. Yeah, it's absolutely insanity. UFC's crazy,
No,
but
I love it though. I love watching UFC.
yeah.
It's
Sometimes
awesome.
sometimes it's tough to watch though. Like you're watching this guy just get beat up, and you're like, "Yo, this is hard to watch." Like sometimes it's sometimes tough to watch when guys are just getting like just dummy to the head. You're like, how is this guy alive? Is he even alive? Is he standing? Is there someone even in there? And he's still getting punched in the head. Like when the refs don't get in there right on time, and they're just getting
Yeah.
dummied, and the guy's knocked out. I'm like, okay, this is a tough watch. This guy might die right now, and we're all just like
Yeah, that's
watching it for our entertainment.
well, the worst was during the pandemic when they couldn't have crowds, like it was so loud that like you couldn't hear the crowd chanting. All you could hear was the punches landing. So you'd hear the sounds of the leg kicks it was just brutal. And I remember there's one fight. It was Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson. It was like right when the pandemic hit, and Gaethje pieced this guy up. Ferguson didn't go down, but it was so loud. Like I'm hearing the sound in my head of him getting cracked in the head for 3 rounds. It was nuts. So I mean, kudos to UFC fighters. I don't know how you guys do it, and girls. I don't know how you people do it.
Oh yeah, absolute beast, absolute beast.
Let's talk about something a bit lighter here. We're approaching the end here with the holiday season coming up. You got any plans over the next little bit? Anything you're excited to do over the holidays here, Chip?
I actually got this tournament coming up on the 30th, December 30th. It's a 3-on-3 tournament. Other than that, I don't have a ton planned. I definitely am trying to straighten out my life, trying to figure out what I want to do in 2024. I think most people are. You kind of just got to start now. It's like one of those ones where like I'm not trying to like set goals for 2024. Like I'm trying to set them for right now. Like wake up, let's just go into a new year with good habits. Keep it going, keep stacking those good habits up. Not a big let's set these new year goals. Like just set them right now and start hammering away at it. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest takeaway I've learned over the past couple of years. Just action. You know what I mean? Don't wait around. Don't procrastinate. Just take the action. Because no one's gonna do it for you. Even like with this podcast. Let's just take the action. Let's start the podcast in the new year. No, how should you do it right
No.
now? The new year doesn't exist. All right, 3 days from now doesn't even exist. Okay, the only thing that exists is right now, and this is how you transform your reality. Is in the moment, baby.
Yeah, it's like, would I start episode 1 in 2024, or would I go into 2024 with a couple episodes under my belt? It's like a lot of people
Yeah.
wait. Oh, I'll become a better person Jan 1st. No, just be a better person tomorrow. That's
Or
the key to life.
right now. Right now.
Yeah, right now. Go
Right
give.
now,
If
baby.
you live with people, go give them a compliment. If you're at work or you're out in
There you
public,
go.
just give someone a compliment. That's what I want to do. I know a lot of people say that. I've seen that a lot. It's like a nice dopamine hack is just give someone a compliment every single day. So I want to make that not New Year's resolution, a tomorrow resolution. Give someone a compliment every single day.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go do that today. I'm gonna go downstairs and give someone a compliment.
I like
Once
it.
I
Well, I'll
finish
give
this
you a
pod and be like,
compliment
yo,
right now. You're a phenomenal co-host, and I love doing these.
oh,
And man, I'm excited for what's to come for both of us in 2024, and we'll continue to talk about it on this podcast. I'm going on vacation Monday. I'm going to Honduras, so I'm very excited. Hopefully do
how
a
long?
remote podcast next week. I'm gone until New Year's Day. I come back, so yeah, you should be seeing tropical prints on the pod next week.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I need some sunlight bad. That sounds like an awesome trip. Go enjoy that. It's gonna be a good. Is it a week? You're gone for a week, 2 week and a bit.
Yeah, exactly a week, Monday to Monday. So very excited.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Get some nice vitamin D. Absorb that
Yes.
sun. Is it
Yes.
all inclusive? Is it gonna be
It is not, but
okay?
Maybe that's a good maybe that's a good thing with me on the pod here. That's all I'll say. Might be a good thing it's not all inclusive.
You'll have some good dinners then. You'll have some good
Oh
meals.
yeah. Yeah,
Is
some
it, are
healthy
you staying
eating.
Airbnb or is it a resort?
It's a resort, like a timeshare kind of thing. So it's not like all inclusive. It's we're staying at a place on a resort, but it's not like part of the resort package kind of thing. But nevertheless, my favorite thing to do when I go away is I just love putting my feet in the sand, like putting the sand between your toes. I love
Yeah.
that. That's like my favorite thing, and
You
that's like my
sounded like
go-to
Theo
like
Vaughn.
peace. Really, Theo Vaughn?
I like putting my feet in the sand, man. I
Well,
like putting my
he'd say
feet in the
something
sand.
wild. He'd be like, I love putting my
No, but just
toes
the
in
way
the
you
sand.
delivered that. I just like putting my feet in the sand on vacation.
He'd be like, no, he'd be like,
Yeah,
there's nothing better than putting your toes in a hotel sink. Like I like putting them in a hotel sink. Like that's what he'd say. Something silly. But I appreciate
just
that.
like a
The
hotel
Theo Vaughn.
sink, and you put the water on, and you keep it warm. Hotels, hotel sinks, man.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Nothing like it. You know. Yeah, it is a little
Nothing
weird.
like it.
It is a little weird, but then you get to the ocean with the
The
crawfish
water. The water.
and
The sea
the
urchins.
sea animals. The sea, and the
The
sea
animals.
animals.
The animals. That guy's an animal.
Have you seen uh those those sharks with the fin on the back that swim around and they attack human beings? Yeah, it's crazy.
I wouldn't want to put my toes in one of them, that's for sure. That's for sure.
No,
Well,
those them sea creatures will get you.
they get you. That's been our Theo Vaughn segment of the week. Shout out Theo Vaughn. I mean, I rate our impressions in the comments. Let us know. But thanks for listening.
Oh my
Episode
gosh.
2, the Prince Huda podcast. I'm Prince Huda. We got Coach Chippy here. Wishing you all very happy holidays, and we'll see you next week.
Happy
Peace.
holidays.